How many of you struggle with all the junk mail that we receive on a daily basis and don't know what to do with it? I never keep these envelopes. I usually toss them, but today, as I was going through my mail, I decided to actually save all of those envelopes that have a window. And I've seen many videos on decorating these envelopes. I figure since we love making mini albums here, we're going to be using all of these envelopes to create a mini album. So if you have any junk mail, save it and let's create something beautiful. So hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to a new 1 hour crafting video. So as I mentioned, today we're going to be playing with a junk mail envelopes and try to create something with this and put them to use. Believe it or not, this is one pile of mail for me for a week. So yes, normally I toss this, but today we're gonna play with this. And I figured these windows, some of these that have the larger windows, could be a pretty place to add a picture, kind of use it as a frame. We can use it just to kind of pick through what we have on the inside, and then we can bind it all together and make it into kind of like a traveler memory book, little album. And let's just play with paper and see what we come up with. So in terms of scrapbook paper, I have this paper collection by Park Lane, which is by Joann's, which is no longer open anymore, sadly, but I still have all of these beautiful papers and that I think I want to be creating with. And as I mentioned before, one of the goals with this 1 hour crafting is for me and for us to use your stash, use all of your paper collections that you have been saving, hoarding, accumulating for years, and let's just create something with that. So I do have some papers that are already kind of leftovers from other projects, and I really love this page here. I really love the combination of the rose gold, the flowers. Excuse my voice, I have been sick for the past 2 weeks and I am slowly returning into the craft room and attempting to record videos, and so just bear with me. But yeah, so let's get right into playing with this. So I figure the first thing that we can do is cover the inside of the window, the inside of the page, because I do want to seal back up these envelopes and maybe make a different opening, maybe at the top. Maybe I would also do one on the side, but yeah, so I will probably have some more along the top so we can insert your pictures up and down, and I think that is gonna be the way to go with this. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe use some of the scraps that I have here left, and most of these envelopes are all about the same size, which is perfect, so that way we don't have to measure each one. So I'm just gonna treat these as one size, kind of like a general, and then if some of them are smaller or bigger, then we will adjust. These envelopes are 9.5 by 4 1/8, but we're just gonna say 4, and so 9.5 by 4 will probably be the size that we want to cut for the inside of the envelope, so maybe even 9.25. So I'm gonna grab my cutter, and so we are just going to start cutting some of these pieces, and also covering the inside of the book with the cardstock. It's gonna make the envelopes a little bit more sturdy as well. So I don't know how many envelopes I have, but I'm just gonna start cutting some of these papers. And I don't know if I have full pages of this, but I would love this for the cover, so I'm gonna just kind of save them to the side for now, and then continue cutting other ones. So I'm just gonna cut this at 4, and then by 9 I'm gonna do 9 1/4. And then, for example, I can start with these ones here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure it fits on the inside. There we go. So now we have a fun thing to look at on the inside of the window. And also, if you have a smaller scraps, you can just use a small piece and try to cover only the window page. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this down. And I have played with envelopes before, and I have made like a little journal or trifold with all kinds of pockets. There's so many things that you can actually do with these leftover envelopes, but I've never attempted to create a full mini album, and I kind of want this to be a window pages here type of mini album. And we're just gonna now seal this envelope here. Okay, so we have that, and I am going to do all of these. So let's see. Just making sure it will fit, and we're just gonna add the glue. Let's go ahead and add the glue here. I'm putting the glue facing up because I want this to be on this side. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and seal this envelope back up. And there we go. Okay. And we're just gonna see what we come up with in terms of like color combinations and things like that. So I'm just gonna add this one. Now this envelope is smaller, so I'm just gonna adjust the size here, and I'm going to just do this again. Add the envelope, so that's gonna get glued to the back, and then you can still access that section. But I am gonna close this here. Okay, so I'm just gonna continue with this. I have 1, 2, 3. Let's see how many envelopes I have. Well, let's see how many I have left so I can cut more paper. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one's a different color, but I think I will use it. 2, 8, 9, 10. I have 11, 12. So this is gonna be a 12-page book. And then I have this bigger envelope, and I think this will be a good size if we fold this one in half to kind of make this a binding for all of the other envelopes. So I was imagining something like this, and that way we can kind of see some layer effects, and we're going to add some paper, some laces, and some, you know, anything that we can find around the craft room. So let me continue with these. So I'm just going to again try to use, I don't think I have any more scraps, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use some of these papers. And so let's do this out, and maybe I'm trying to pick like the more neutral colors for the inside of the windows and save the colorful ones for the outside maybe. Okay, so we're just gonna continue cutting this at 4, and this was by 9.25, and then I'm gonna do this one again, 4 by 9.25, and then just continue adding these papers. Okay, so I have all of my envelopes with the paper on the inside of the window, and now what we're gonna do is cover the outside of the envelopes. And as you can see, these envelopes, some of them are the same, but some of them have like completely different like window layouts, and you know, so we're gonna have to just gonna, maybe I can, even if we group them, I think they're all different, so we're just gonna treat them individually. But I'm going to go with the main size of the outside of the envelope. So for example, this one here measures 9.5 by 4 1/8. So this time, to the width of my envelope, I am going to add about an inch. So I'm going to kind of do 5 inches by 9.5 for the outside. Okay, and that way we will have kind of like a good base, and I think they're all about 9.5, and at least that's the longest size. And if we have like a smaller one, we can always adjust as we go. So I'm going to start by cutting these at 9.5, and then I'm going to cut this by 5. Okay, and I'm just gonna set up these sizes here, and I have 12 envelopes. So this is gonna be just the front size, the front side of the envelope. So 9.5 by 5. Yeah. So now I'm going to start making the window. So I'm going to start with the easiest one, which I think it will be this one here. So all we're going to do is measure the edge here to the distance to the window. So it's about 6/8 over here, right? Or 5/8, sorry. And then I'm going to measure the window, which is 3 inches, and then the distance from the top, which is about 1/2 inch. And so for the window, I'm going to be using this other cutter here because this one's a lot easier to create these window panels. So I'm going to place this distance, which is going to be this section here. So you will measure whatever your distance is, and is about 5 5/8. So I'm just going to place that here at 5/8. And then I'm going to cut, this measures 9.5. So I'm going to start at 9 inches. Okay, and then we're gonna go down from the 9 inches, whatever this length is. And so this is 4.5. So if we're starting here at the top, let me place it like this, right? So it's easier to do it like this. So if this top here is 9.5, right, I'm gonna line up the 9.5 here. And now I know I'm going to cut from the 9 inches down to the 5.5 to get that exact window. So we're gonna just do that. So I'm gonna go from the top, from 9 to 5.5, and you can do the same measuring from the bottom up if it makes more sense to you, but since I already started from the top, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just making the size of the window, and then we know this is 3 inches here, so then I'm going to repeat that same cut 3 inches down. So I guess I could flip it this time, and I'm gonna go 3 inches from this cut line here. I think I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be, but I hope that you're making that you're kind of getting what I'm doing. Now I'm gonna, since I turn this over, I'm gonna go from the bottom. So I'm gonna go from 1/2 inch again, which is this distance. And this time, if I start from 0, I'm gonna go from 1/2 inch down to 5 inches. So I'm gonna go from 1/2 inch to 5 inches here, and I will get that same distance on both sides. And now we're just gonna close up this window. I'm just going to line up to the end of my cut, and then just gonna match those two a little bit higher up. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the same over here. Okay, from here to here, and so I should be able to have my window here. So I'm just gonna take this out, and we're going to see how we have it. So we're pretty close, and it's okay if it's not exact. So one thing that I probably will suggest or do for the next one is, instead of going exactly the 3 inches, I'll probably make this a little bit smaller so we don't have any of the white outline going out, but I'm okay with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these. So I'm going to add my glue. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. We're gonna add the glue on the envelope and just go around the window right here like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna line this up like this. So I do have a little bit of the white space, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. All right, and now what we're gonna do is just gonna fold these around. You could also score, but I think it's easier to just simply fold it. So I'm gonna fold these around here, and I'm going to fold these the other way also. Okay, so now we cover our window, and then this is going to be our hinge that is going to connect to the other envelope next. Okay, so that is gonna be these, and I'm just gonna go ahead and press down, make sure I have enough glue around my window. Let me just add a little bit more glue here and press down. Now it depends if you want this top to be your opening or if you want that to be at the bottom, on how we're gonna open this pocket. But I'm gonna wait until maybe I'll do the other side, or let me just finish doing the other windows. So just following that same idea, I'm going to grab the next envelope, and I'm just gonna do these this piece here. So maybe I think I'll do this right here like that. Yeah, so it depends where you want your window, if you want it at the bottom, if you want this to be at the top, how you will kind of set this up. And I'm going to again now cut this opening. Now because these two are the same, I'm going to cut two of these at the same time to kind of save a little time on this one. So for this one, I'm gonna go, to be not super exact, I'm just gonna go an inch from the top and about, I want to say again 6/8 from the side. So I'm just gonna go a little bit more than half an inch, and then I'm gonna go an inch from the top. So I'm gonna start at 8.5, and I'm going to go down about 4.5 inches, which means I'm gonna go to about 5.5. But because I don't want any of this white, I'm gonna start at the 1 and go all the way down to 5.25. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to 5. Oh, I went too much. To 5.25 from here to here. And then I'm going to move over. This window is about an inch, so I'm gonna move over about an inch here and do the same cut. So back to that 8.5 and down to that 5.25. And now I'm just going to finish up closing this window. Okay, so just kind of playing with these, and if you want to make the window smaller, that's okay. You know, if you want to close the entire window, that's okay also, and just kind of not have to measure so much. But I hope this is not too much processing and thinking. But there we go. So since by going smaller than the actual length, now I know I don't have any of that white space left over anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the glue all around the window, and right here, and we're going to glue these on top. There we go. So press down, and look how cute. You already have your pocket page and you have a window on your page. So I'm gonna fold that in a minute. Let's just do this other one here. Add the glue. Okay, so we're just gonna go like that, go around that window and place this piece right here on top. I love projects that, you know, we're gonna use our creativity. We're recycling, upcycling, using things that will otherwise be trash, and we're just having a fun, creative time together here. Okay, so now I'm going to fold these to the side, and if I don't use this as a hinge, that's okay. I just at least want to have the option to have my hinge already included and ready to go. Okay, so I'm just gonna fold that and just do this here, and I'm going to fold it the other way. Okay, so now I'm ready to attach my next envelope there. Same thing for this one. And there you go. And so I'm gonna put this one over here. So you could attach it side to side like that, but my idea is to actually attach it to this back page, so that way you're not covering your windows at all. Okay, so we're just gonna continue with this process. So I have an easy one here, and so for this one I'm just gonna again do the same. Now you can also glue it the other way and kind of have the hinge on the other side. So I think for this one I'm gonna do that, so I have options on my hinge. And I'm just gonna start measuring this time from this side. So I have an inch on the top and half an inch, I'm sorry, an inch from from right to left and half an inch on the top. And then my window is about 3 inches. So I'm going to start here, an inch from the side, and then we're gonna go half an inch from the top, which means I'm going to start at 9. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm gonna start about at 9 right there. And then the window length is 4.5. So if you count from the top down, we are going to go to let's see, 5 inches down here. So I think I'm counting this backwards. I want to count from 9.5 down to 4.5. So there we go. And now I know my pocket is 3 inches, or my window is 3 inches, so I'm going to move, I don't think I need to do this, but I will move this line here to the 3-inch line. So right about here. Okay, and then I'm gonna make that same cut. So now I'm just going to match the window and close this. It's hard to see on this pattern paper, but we can always adjust this, or just gonna pull it or cut it. I'm gonna just give it a little snip. Oh wait, I don't have any weird edges. There we go. So here's another window, and oh, I think I mismeasured this, and that's okay. So I'm not gonna recut it. I'm just gonna go with it, and then we can always patch that little section. So everything has a solution, so just enjoy the process. Okay, we're just gonna go like that. Ideally we will cut it smaller because I'm okay with not showing any of that, but we can just do that, right? And then we can either add a little piece of scraps to close it up, or you can add some lace or something like that. But I think I'm gonna actually use some of my cute papers that I have like scraps of. I like maybe this one will go really cute here. Yeah, and then you don't even have to just finish the window. Maybe just add a whole band here. So I'm gonna cut this at 4 inches and just patch it up. That's okay. I'm just gonna put that right. I'm just gonna center that right there. There we go. And I think that's totally fine. We're gonna be layering on these when you're adding your pictures on little flaps and things like that. And now what I'm gonna do is just fold this hinge here. Okay, so this envelope was a little wider, so my hinge is smaller, but that's okay as long as we have a little piece to go. Okay, and because I like symmetry so much, it's kind of weird to me that this side of the envelope is thicker than that side. So when you cut your paper, you don't have to go by the actual window. You can just make your window smaller and center this up. So I should have thought about that, but just giving you some ideas if you want to have your window center. Okay, so here's that one. So now for this one we have the hinge on the other side, and I'm just gonna continue kind of going through the same process for the next pages. So for this next envelope, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use one of my die cuts, and instead of creating that square window, I'm going to make a circle window within this window here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this circle opening on my page, and I went ahead and folded the side first so I know how to, you know, center the circle here. And I'm just gonna pass these through my die cut. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut these and come back, and then now we have our window opening. And just to have a different type of window here, we are going to glue this one like that. And I actually love the circle window, so we are going to just add the glue around the window as normal and all around. And then we're gonna put this piece here and press down, and there we go. So now we have our circle window, and I do have my hinge on this side, and there we go. And so I'm just gonna continue with the other ones. So far I have a circle window, a double window. I love this one, a little bit more challenging, but I just took each one as one. So I measure for this one, and then I give it some space, and then repeat the same measurement there. We have this one, the larger window here, and then this and this. So I have a couple more to go, so I don't want to bore you, or a few actually more to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this on the side, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I spent some time, I'm not gonna lie, this took probably over an hour, but you don't have to use this many envelopes. I think we counted, I have 12 envelopes because I do want to make somewhat of a chunky book. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yeah, so I did probably have enough to make 2 projects with all of these, but that's okay. I really just enjoy kind of doing these, and it was super relaxing, although you do kind of have to measure a little bit there. Now I wanted to also mention, if you don't want to deal with kind of like the paper cutter and placing it and making it match, you can always measure the windows of the envelope and then just kind of use those measurements on your cardstock and draw a square and then just cut it like that. So that way you can not have to struggle so much with the cutter, but it got easier as I was doing this. But anyway, so now we're ready to move to the next step, which is going to be putting these pages together. Now the back are still plain because I want to first join the pages and then we're gonna cover the back. And also I haven't made the opening on the top or bottom or side, whatever you want to do your opening yet, because I want to first see how my pages will go. So I am going to just kind of start by placing my pages, and now the hinge could be on the front, could be on the back. It's just all depending on what how do you want to bind your book. So I think I'm probably gonna start with this one. So actually, okay, so the other envelope, I haven't done this one yet. This is gonna be the one that I'm gonna be using to bind everything, and I'm already planning on using these if this will fit. Yeah, I think this will fit. So this color here. So to make kind of that stand out, I'll probably need to start with this color here for my first page. And I honestly love the envelope or the circular window, so I'm gonna use that one as my first. Now let me bring the cutter so I can cut the opening as we put the pages in order. We're going to be doing the binding at the end. So for this one, I know I want my opening along the top, so I'm just going to cut that bit here, and this is going to be 9 1/4. Let me make it exactly 9 1/4. So now we have the opening on the top for you to put your picture here, or just make it as a pocket. And now the second page, I will probably, oh, also some of these that I did, instead of cutting these at 5 inches and having this piece, I just left whatever size paper I had. I think this is about 7 inches, and that way we have this bigger piece here, which we could always glue down, or we can I don't know, maybe use it as a little flap and add something else to this. So I honestly don't really have a solid plan. Just crafting and relaxing as we go. So I think this will be, we can also do it, glue this like that here, I think, and just gonna have this half page. So maybe I'll do that here, but I am gonna be cutting the opening for this one along the top. So again, 9 1/4 to keep these two at the same size. And now I'm just going to add glue on this piece here, and I am just going to join this with that. Okay, and let's just, and if you only have a smaller piece, that's okay too. We can always glue something on that right there. Okay, so now we have these two combined together. And now another thing that I probably wanted to do is use these smaller envelopes, and instead of putting them all like page to page, we can make this one come from this side here, and now we have this opening over here. So see how this starts becoming a little bit more interactive. Now this one, I accidentally didn't center the window correctly, but I figure it's okay. So I just have this white space here. So instead of having my pocket on the top, I'm gonna have the pocket on the side to get rid of that for this one. So for this envelope, my pocket is on the side. And see, now we can put this one here. So this is a slightly smaller envelope. You don't want to put a big envelope here, of course, because then you wouldn't be able to close this. So make sure you check on that. And that is the beauty about having all of these junk envelopes that are all kind of different. Well, some of those are like different sizes, so we can layer and play around with that. So that's gonna go here, and I am just going to press down. Everything that is still white I will cover at the end, but I want to be able to have the options to add more flaps if I want to. Okay, so we have this one coming from here. This is kind of like a half page that we can still glue something here. We could probably add well, this one is the same color, so I probably wouldn't do that, but we can add any of these other ones. Or this one, let's pick something like this one, for example. We can glue these pockets here like that, and then so now this envelope, I mean, and now we have another piece going on this flap. And so I'm just going to do this opening on the front. So again, I'm gonna try to keep some of these at 9 1/4, and we can glue this one there. Okay, so I'm going to add my glue here, and that's gonna be one whole page right there. And then this will have the opening on the top, and that closes up like that. Now you can also just glue this top and bottom and keep this as a pocket, but I am just gonna glue this whole thing down. And then this section, this hinge here that we have, we don't have to use it. We can glue this down and then just add another piece of paper there, or we can continue just kind of building more interest on this page, on this little hinge. Now each one of these pages has a hinge. I'm just trying to give myself options, but that doesn't mean we have to use all of these hinges here. So for this one I kind of did the same thing, that I didn't measure the windows correctly and I have this white space, which is okay because now this will be my opening page here, so we could put that one there. I don't want to have more here, so I'll probably add something that won't have too many, you know, options. And I want to use one of the smaller envelopes if I still have any here. I thought I made a few of the smaller ones, so yeah, so this one's a little bit smaller too, and so we can still close this on top. So I think it will be probably nice to even add another flap over here. So I am gonna cut these down to 9 1/4 to make all the pages about the same size, and we're gonna glue these on this hinge here. So I'm going to add glue on the hinge and place this one right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to center that and press down. So now we have this front page, this opens here, this next page, this opens here also. You could add more, but I think I'm going to not add more here, so I'm just gonna fold this hinge and glue this down. Okay, so we don't need this hinge here, and we have the opening on the top for that one. For this one we also have the opening on the top, and now we're on the back, so we're ready to build more pages here. So we could build this one right here like this, or we could put it on this side. So also it depends if you want your windows along the top or if you want your windows along the bottom, how you want to place it. So I say just have fun with it and kind of use my example as a reference, but feel free to create other options as well. So I think I'm going to glue this one over here. Again, cut this down to 9 1/4, so they're all about the same size. And I'm just gonna add glue right here, and we're gonna put this one on top, press down, and then this is just going to be our hinge right there. Okay, so now we added this back, and on the center here we can even add a couple more flaps. So I can do this one as long as it's narrow enough. Now also, if it's not narrow enough, we can always create an opening on the side. I think this piece here will go good on this side. Maybe if we move it to the side just a little bit here, and that's okay. So we will see some of that. Let me see, where's my opening? It's on the top, so that's okay. We could also use this one. Let me think. Let's see. I could put this one here, right? And then make the opening on this side. So I'm gonna open this edge. Okay, so now my opening is right here, and this is a little bit taller because I am not doing the opening on the top, but I think that should be okay. Yeah, that should be okay. So I'm just gonna put it like that and glue this down. So now this is just a big hinge, so I am gonna add the glue here. Okay, and actually the beauty of this type of project, having different size envelopes, is seeing layers. So don't be too worried about having all of your pages same size, as long as you can still close and fold. Okay, so next, look how cute this looks already. All right, so let's see, that opens like that. Everything that's empty we will clean up. Okay, and that is the back, and I do not want that to be the back, so I still want to add more here. So I'm gonna use this bigger one that has like a smaller hinge and glue this little hinge on this page. So I am gonna cut this down to 9 1/4 and make that opening on the top. And now we are just gonna glue this one here. The glue. Okay, and that's can go right here on top. Okay, so just lining this up, press down. Okay, press down here. Okay, so now we have a window pocket here, window pockets here. I think this is gonna look really cute once we have add our pictures and things like that. And then this page, let's see, maybe we can add this one next over here. And again, I do need the opening on the top, so 9 1/4. So like that, and that can go here. So I'm just gonna glue this down. So just have fun with your envelopes. I'm not really following a determined order or pattern. I'm just gluing them together, making the pages fit. So here we can add another couple of sections there. So that could be here. This one we can fold. And the beauty of the paper also is that you can place it on either direction, right? So I think this one can go here, but also make sure that you can fold these, so you can always just glue it out a little bit. So we're gonna cut these on the top at 9 1/4, and we're going to add the glue over here. And I'm gonna put that over, but give it a little space from the bending line, so it might come out a little bit on this side, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna push that out a little bit. Okay, and press down right here. So now we have that one, this one, and that. Now we have this bit over kind of coming out, which we can also take advantage of that and add another. Well, actually maybe this one we can add over here, and we need an opening on this one as well. So I think for this I could do the opening on this side. So just take a little bit and place that over. Add the glue. Put that over here. Another flap, another pocket, another window, and then same thing here. Also make sure that it's still opening, closing, not getting too chunky. Like I said, I have so many, so I probably have more than what I need. But then I want to use this one, probably go here. Yeah, so I'm going to cut the top at 9 1/4. Okay, and glue this. So again, I could do this more to the side to make sure this is going to close. So we're gonna add glue on this large hinge. My idea with this hinge was to either make half pages, or you can leave most of this open for pockets, but I think I'm just gonna glue it as a regular hinge. There we go. And actually, I'm gonna take that back. Since we have so much room here, I can even overlap it more and just gonna have that little layer there, like that, and just expand my page size, right? There we go. And might need more glue. I think it's good. Okay, so now we have that page kind of coming out a little bit more, and I'm okay seeing these really pretty layers of paper here. That's actually really cute. And we can always add some lace or something there. Okay, so that's that. Then this just made that whole page a lot bigger. That we have this, and then this closes up like that. I have 3 more envelopes, so let me actually try to add all of those here. We can even add more over there. I think I don't want to add anything here because I love this for the back cover. I think that's really pretty. So we could always build on the inside, like here maybe. Oh, maybe on the large one that we added here, we can even add another one over here now, because now we made that a lot bigger. So I'm going to use this one, and again cut this at 9 1/4. You can even cut it smaller at 9. Let's do 9. Let me do 9 1/4. Okay, I'll just keep it the same. And then we can glue this down. So I'm going to add the glue. And now I'm just going to put this one back here. Okay, so as long as you are keeping clear of that bending line and giving it some space to be able to fold on top, we should be good. So look at that. Now we have a double opening. We will add regular paper there also, and same thing with this one. With this one we could do the same thing and add another one here, like right there, right? And this one is an opening, so we'll just do an opening on the top and add the glue right here like that. And I'm just gonna center these and staying about 1/8 of an inch away from that bending line. And look how pretty the layers of the colors are there. And then my last envelope I could put here. We can put it over on this side. I think that fits and it will be able to close. So I'm gonna cut these again at 9 1/4. And then we are going to glue this down. Right here. Okay, so make sure this can fold. And this can fold either under and then this over, like that. And same thing for this side, right? You can have it either way you like. so pretty. Oh, I love it. Okay, so we have here our little envelope arrangement, and next we're gonna be adding the papers on the inside. So I'm just gonna cut a bunch of 9¼ by 4, and we're gonna add them on all of the inside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting my paper. Some of these might be a little bit wider, so just kind of measure as you go, but I'm going to cut some ahead, and then we're just gonna glue those down. Okay, so now I'm going to work on what is going to be the cover, and I'm thinking instead of attaching these, I'm going to make my cover just kind of be a separate piece. Since this is already binded, I want to make sure that we can open these flat. So I'm going to still make the cover because I love the layering effect here, but I'm going to have it as an additional piece that we can just kind of wrap everything once we're done using our little book. So I went ahead and measured the size of this envelope, which is 9½ by 6, and I'm going to just make the same opening here. So I think I have 1¼ over here and 1 inch on the side, so I'm gonna make sure 1¼ and then I'm going to again, and I don't know if this is the easiest way, the way I'm doing it, but you can again just measure it. So I'm gonna go from 8½, which will be 1 inch from 9½ down, and then down to, I'm measuring this in reverse so I hope it's not confusing because I know 9½ is the top, so I'm gonna go from 9½. I'm gonna measure that 9½ here, and so my cut is going to go from 8½ down to about 4¼ okay, so that's gonna be my cut, and I'm actually gonna leave my cut to be just at 5 because since I'm gonna be folding this, I don't want that window to be folded. I want the window to just kind of end up here. So I'm going to cut from 8½ to maybe 5½. Okay, so again, this will change depending the size of your window. So I'm going down from 8½ to 5½, which was up here, and then my window is about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to move here 1.5 inches that way, so I have to go backwards to I think 4.5. But I also like to measure here just to double check if I have 1.5 going from this cut to where I'm going to cut. So I think I need to go a little bit more, and now I'm just ready to cut this piece. And I know when I'm doing this on camera it sounds more complicated than what it actually is, so I do apologize for that. I don't know if I am explaining it the best way, but again, just try it, and once you get the hang of it, I probably don't make any sense, but it will make sense for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out, which is my little window, and I did reduce the size of the window to make sure that when I fold this envelope in half, I'm not folding right on the line. And so now we can go ahead and glue this down. So I am just gonna add glue here and try to put a lot of glue on the center here where we're gonna be folding this. Okay, and now, oh, maybe I need more glue over here. We are just gonna place this piece right there. Okay, so there we go, and press down. And I think this needs to be higher up, but that's okay, I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so press down. Then for the back, I'm going to just use the same design. You won't see the back, but of course we want to decorate it as well. And again, put a little glue on the center where we're gonna be folding it. Okay, and And then we're just going to add this piece, press down. Oh, okay, one thing I forgot. Before gluing these, I want to add a closure thing, and I only have this little bit left, so I'm gonna make the best of it and use it. So I'm just gonna cut this in half, and if you forgot to put it, that's okay, because we're gonna be opening a pocket anyway, so we can always glue it in there. So we're gonna cut a little opening on, we can cut it on both sides right there, and then we're gonna put our lace. So this window here has that piece on the background, which I already added. Now for this one, I didn't add an entire piece, which probably I should have, because now I can see that this does not look clean. So I'll probably add another piece later, but for now I'm just gonna glue these here. Okay, so we're just gonna put that right there, and then if I cover that up, then I'm gonna secure this even more. Okay, and we're gonna do another one back here, and I'm just gonna put that right here. And okay, so I'm thinking about these, and actually what I'm gonna do is put the lace, and I'm going to close the envelope, in fact. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue it shut again, so that way my ribbon or this can be more secure. So we're gonna close these, and for this one you only want to close the edge right there like that. Okay, and I'm going to make the opening on the top to put the picture. Okay, so that way my lace is secure. Okay, and now I'm going to do the opening on the top. There we go. So we solved that little white line issue as well, and then we secure our binding. Let this dry before we bend it. Okay, but look how cute this is. It's just a simple envelope, but we made it so pretty. And I'm just gonna fold these now. So I'm gonna go slow here. Make sure this is dry. Okay, so we're just gonna soft fold these like that. Okay, I don't want to make it too squish, I just want to give it a soft bend, and then this is going to go right here like that, and it's just going to be a wrap closure, and then we can tie this. And I'm just gonna make a knot because I have a small lace, but look how pretty. Actually, I think I have plenty to do a little bow, maybe. Yeah, I can do a small little bow here. There we go, something like that. And that is going to be our cute little envelope album. And I know this was a little bit of a longer project, I'm not gonna lie, but I think this is so cute and so fun to do and super relaxing, and we're upcycling products or you know, envelopes, and using our stash and creating something really fun, really cute to look at. And I did not add the papers on the inside yet, on the inside white pages, but I'll be doing that, and I'll probably do another video showing you how that looks at the end. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I am kind of rushing to get this uploaded, so I'm gonna end up here, and if I embellish this a little more, which is what I want to do, add some laces and finish adding the paper, I'll come back and do a walkthrough reveal later on this week. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy videos like these, please consider becoming a member to my channel and enjoying extra bonus content, live classes, and also on my Patreon. You can support me there and get a digital collection every month and a exclusive tutorial as well. So I want to thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.